What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hot Zone Podcast with your host, Excelsis Gaming here. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and I'm really sorry about that. I just haven't been in the podcast mood in terms of content creating, and I haven't really done that, so I haven't done one in a while. But we're back, baby. I'm feeling it, and I'm trying to get all these old series back on the market. So this one's going to be an interesting one. I kind of just want to go over everything that's been kind of happening in the world and kind of just go over my thoughts and opinions on it. And it's been a crazy time, hasn't it? Like it's been wild, dude. Like we have discovery of life on Mars that happened recently. We had the death and assassination of Charlie Kirk recently. The death of a young Ukrainian immigrant who was stabbed on a subway. Um, we have the war in Ukraine still going hard as it ever was. We have Russians trying to send drones into Poland. We have tensions rising in Israel again with that conflict that's still happening over there in Gaza. We have a country, I think it was Nepal or whatever, I believe, has been overthrown by revolutionists, and their capital burned to the ground. Their supreme leader or whatever was, I believe, either killed or is on exile. He's currently on the run. So there's just so many things happening in the sphere. That I want to go into. So let's just get right into it. But yeah, it's just wild to me. I think the biggest thing lately has been the Charlie Kirk thing. When we had the memorial a couple days ago, we had 300,000 people at the memorial, 548,000 on Charlie Kirk's YouTube channel on the live stream, and 500,000 were recorded on Fox News, and around a million or so were recorded throughout all of Europe, South America, Africa, and Eastern Europe as well. So there's just so much happening everywhere, and all the support is for is kind of eye-opening, I think, because it shows that the conservative right-leaning values aren't the minority like people had assumed for so long. They are quite literally the larger amount, right? They are the louder side of the argument aisle. So it's just crazy, man. Like we had just recently had some things happening in not North Korea, South Korea. They had a big Trump rally, pretty much is what it was, a Charlie Kirk Trump rally. We have in England, we have mass immigration issues over there in England right now, and a lot of people over there fighting for the right to get basically Muslims out of their country. And I think it's a very moving movement that we're seeing around the globe is people are sick and tired of dealing with radicalized ideas that shouldn't be a thing, right? I think it was like 3 or 4 million Muslims immigrated to England within like 3 years. So shit tons of immigrants over there that are not coming legally, they're coming illegally, and they're causing harm to the people that live there who have worked their entire lives to get to where they are in that country. So support to my English brothers and sisters over there in England. Keep fighting for what you believe in. I think it's a great thing that y'all are doing is standing up to your government, standing up to your king and queens, and saying enough is enough. Things need to change. And the same is happening here in the United States. We have a lot of things happening here. We have riots that broke out over the what was it? The guy that killed that medical guy, that medical CEO. Um, Now they want to drop his terrorist charges, which is absolutely mental in my opinion. I mean, the guy literally committed a terrorist act. I mean, it is what it is. You can say what you want, but that's what it was, and the fact that they're removing that charge is wild to me. Um, we've had the guy that killed Charlie Kirk. He's been arrested and is now looking at the death penalty. I know that the Utah state government is kind of pushing for that. So we're going to be seeing a lot of things change over there with that. And I'm hoping that it's sooner rather than later. I'm hoping that he is not going to be put on death row for like 15 fucking years. Like some past guys that have been on death row. I hope that it's quick and, we can get a kind of a, not necessarily revenge, but a justice sooner rather than later. Um, and with the Charlie Kirk thing, I mean, we got vigils happening all across the United States. We have hundreds of thousands of colleges beginning their first starting their chapters with Turning Point in USA. So we're seeing the faith in Jesus and God kind of coming back into just everything. It comes back into work, it comes back into politics, it's coming back into schools, back into daily conversations. It's bringing people together that were out of the faith for so long, and it's also getting us away from the people who are demonized, who are possessed by the devil. We're getting away from them as a whole, and I think our ideas as a culture are becoming more and more good versus evil than it was left versus right, as it was in the past. So I definitely think this has a lot of net positives. I know Kirk would have wanted that. I think Kirk was the guy who just wanted everyone to come to God and kind of focus on each other and building each other up and working together to really make a kind of a happy, fruitful life. I mean, he was someone who just wanted people to have kids, get married, and build their faith. That's all he really wanted. And I think that in his death is kind of happening now as we see it. So just, want to send my prayers out to the family, Erica Kirk and his two daughters and his mom and dad. Um, and I think we as a nation are going to heal. I think it's going to take time to heal. A lot of people are like, why are we still talking about it? Because it's important. This is history now. Like, this isn't just a death. This is the future that our kids are going to learn about in history books. This isn't something that is going to be a once and done thing. This is something we're going to feel for the next 2 or 3 decades. And I think Turning Point USA, for example, is just becoming bigger and bigger and bigger now, which means we're going to have more and more and more public speakers aroused from this. And at the end of the day, he was martyred. And martyrs, history loves martyrs at the end of the day. History loves them because martyrs, there's always a difference between, someone mentioned this, I forgot the exact quote, but they basically said the difference between a martyr and the death of a tyrant are two very different things. A lot of people consider, oh, if you die for your beliefs, that automatically makes you a martyr. It's not. Hitler died and he was not martyred, right? He was not a martyr. Hitler died and he was a bad person who died, right? And that's how history remembers him. Meanwhile, you look at MLK or even Abraham Lincoln, they became martyrs for their beliefs. They died fighting for the rights of others, right? Lincoln, helped lead us through the American Civil War, over 600,000 casualties, one of the greatest losses of life in American history. More deaths in that war than all wars that we've been involved in since. And he died in a theater because a man decided that blacks shouldn't have rights and that the South should rise again. And he killed Lincoln in a theater full of people. And that became a martyr. He became a martyr for the civil rights movement that will happen in the next decades to come. And then in the civil rights movement, you have MLK, who preached, the faith in God, and he preached about coming together as a nation and treating each other with respect and love and welcoming other races into just, everyday life things. And he was shot and killed and became a martyr of his own. And now here in 2025, we now have Charlie Kirk, who has become a modern day martyr. He died for his faith. He died for people who weren't even born yet. He was fighting for the idea of ending abortion. He was fighting for the idea that if you're born a man, you're born a man. If you're born a woman, you're a woman. He was born in a time where I don't think we were ready for him. I don't think as a culture we weren't anyway. And now we're here, and he's no longer with us. And I think now more than ever, we're feeling the repercussions of the things that he spoke. I mean, we're seeing people celebrate his death, which is just horrific, and we're seeing celebrities refusing to apologize and now mocking the right side. I'm talking about you, Jimmy Kimmel. Apologize, you piece of shit. Apologize. Pretty simple. It's not hard. It's not complicated, right? And that's at the end of the day, that's the whole point, right? This whole entire problem in our country can be simply fixed if people would just shut up, listen, and apologize for their actions. It's really that simple, right? None of us are incapable of redemption, right? None of us are. We're all sinners. We've all made mistakes. We're all imperfect. At the end of the day, the only person that can judge us is God himself, right? But we all have to be willing to make that step, to take that initiative, to realize that we made mistakes or we misjudged. I know, for example, I've lost a lot of friends on video games, for example, over disagreements. that probably could have been resolved if one of us would have just admitted that, it is what it is, and we apologize. But both of us were head steadfast in our beliefs, and that causes rifts. So take a moment to really think about your life and think about the decisions you made as a whole. And I think you'll be surprised at just how many things we misunderstand, or we're wrong, or we're right sometimes. So yeah, just take a minute to think about that, I think, is the biggest thing. So yeah, other than that, there's some other craziness happening in the world. We have aliens confirmed. This is basically what they said, with the whole Mars, life on Mars thing. Um, and I know that there was that alien thing in Congress where they basically all but confirm aliens exist. So that's cool. That's great. I'm glad that's out in the air. The Epstein files still not released. I do want to see them released. I think it's important that we see them released. Do I think that this is all just a strategy to get away from the Epstein files with the Charlie Kirk situation? No. I don't think Trump is trying to hide them. I think people that think that are probably also thinking that there's multiple genders when there's not. But I do think that there is important that that they're released, because we need to see who in the government needs to be relieved of their services. I think that's important, and I think that they are trying to get away from doing that. But we have released a lot. Trump has released a lot of already of information about the Epstein files, more than we had prior to his presidential run. So I do think he is doing it. I think it's just taking a lot more time and effort than I think he anticipated. Um, the economy's still shit, so that's fun. I'm glad I'm still paying $40 for some soda and some snacks at Walmart. Good shouts out to that. The Russians still being Russians over there, trying to invade countries because Putin is a psychopath. Ukraine is still doing pretty well in Ukraine, from my understanding. They are still doing pretty well. They are, being still backed by a lot of European countries. Um, we had the whole Israel thing going on. Israel's still trying to defend their freedoms, against Hamas and Palestinian terrorists. So hopefully we will be able to see some type of resolution there. I know Palestine and Israel are trying to negotiate, but I think as long as Hamas is still in Palestine and is still being respected by Palestine, I don't really think an end will come, because Israel wants the destruction of Hamas. I mean, it's pretty obvious that's what they want. They want the entire deconstruction of the Hamas terrorist organization. And as we saw in Afghanistan with ISIS and the Taliban, it is very hard to dismantle a terrorist organization, especially one that uses babies and women as bulletproof shields, pretty much, and they're hiding in minutes groups of civilians. These groups are very hard to take out because, again, they're using these unconventional, these unethical ways of fighting, and it's unfortunately working for them, and they're making a huge name for themselves on the global market. There's so many Hamas sympathizers out there who are just believing the rhetoric that's being spewed, that these Hamas are being targeted based off their religious values, which is not at all what it is. It's about the fact that they attacked Israel in cold blood. So I'm very interested to see how that's going to pan out. I'm always keeping up with it as much as I can. There is always a part of me that's like, doesn't really care all that much because I'm over here in the United States. So there's that part of me who's like, I care, but at the same time, it's not really affecting me physically. And I feel like that's how a lot of Americans are, I think, right now, especially even with Ukraine too, is we don't feel that physicalness. We don't feel that physical connection, right? We sympathize with them, but I don't empathize with them, if that makes any sense. So I'm not feeling what they're feeling, but I understand why they're doing what they're doing, right? It's an understandable thing. Um, and I would expect nothing less from any other country that's dealing with these issues, right? If you're a country being attacked, I think you have the utmost right to avenge those attacks. Um, but in terms of other news, we've got all types of cool things happening on the channel here, for example. Again, starting the podcast up again. Hopefully, going to do this every Sunday. I'm planning on recording these Wednesdays and Thursdays. So, depending on how I record these will actually be recorded in the past, but uploaded in the future. So, that's pretty nifty. And I have other plans for keeping like the My Book series up. I got Delta Force grinds stuff coming up. They just added a camera grind, which I think I've mentioned that in yesterday's video, or I guess now would be Tuesday's video. No, Wednesday's video for you guys. We got Borderlands 4, I'm still grinding. Borderlands 4 did not go as planned. This game is a lot harder and a lot more heavier than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like Borderlands 3, where I could focus on certain things at once. But this game just seems like I'm all over the place with it right now, so that's why it's not having a ton of content with it. We have Battlefield 6, which by the day I'm recording this, I'll be pre-ordering Battlefield 6 tonight. So, I will be playing that day one launch, or midnight launch on the 10th of October. Um, there will be more faith-based content here on the channel that I want to do too. I just really want to get somehow involved in faith on the channel. Either that be talking about chapters of the Bible, just, either talking about my faith issues that I have, like when it comes to sin, or something in those lines, something to kind of to preach in some way. I just think it's important. I'm also reading The Art of War by Sun Tzu, and I think it'd be really cool to like read some of that for you guys here on the channel. I don't know how I would do that, but I think that would be pretty cool. What else do we have? Oh, in October I have my learner's permit test, so I'll be getting my license here soon, or working on my license. So pray for me there. Send me some good luck, because I'm going to need it, because your boy is not that intelligent. All right, he's not. All right, I'm intelligent and not in the helpful ways. All right, I'm intelligent in the ways that don't help you in the daily life. So, send some help there for me. Discord is huge right now. Make sure you guys join my Discord. I post all my music over there that I find that I listen to, and I also post everything else over there. We're gonna have Battlefield 6 weapon builds. We have Delta Force weapon builds coming. We have the Delta Force camo grind coming. We have the Battlefield 6. If they have a camo grind, I'll know at launch, and if they do, then I'll be uploading that to there as well. We have channels for Civil War enacting. We have history channels, we have God channels, we have voice channels, we have the YouTube stuff over there, we have Twitch stuff over there, we have the clan stuff, so we have and the book stuff, so much stuff over in the Discord. So please join it. I beg of you guys, join it, interact with each other. It's a good time. And in November, we have the Remembrance Day Parade that I always go to every year. I'm going to be doing, this will be my first year where I'll be going. I actually have my entire reenacting kit, so I'll be self-sufficient this time around. I won't be relying on other people, which is going to be nice and cool, and a very interesting, switch up. So I'm going to try to record something. I might have my mom record from the sidelines. I don't know how I'm going to upload that quite yet, but I think that could be cool to get you guys some footage of that. Unless I can somehow jimmy rig a way to get my phone to record while I'm walking, maybe I can find a way to put it in a pocket somewhere and have it sit. But I really don't know yet how I'm going to do it. I got a month to figure that out, so we'll have to see. Airsoft stuff. I want to do some more airsoft stuff. I have so many things that I'm putting money into. I just don't have the time for airsoft. That's something I want to get back into. But like this reenacting stuff has really taken my attention, my money wise. I just got done buying an $800 rifle, so that killed me financially. PC stuff, I'm working on it. I'm kind of waiting to start buying stuff for PC until I get all my shit from Pennsylvania down and I actually get this room fully kitted out, because that's my problem right now. This room is not kitted out. So there's an echo in the room. I really want to just get all the flags, get all the pictures, things that help with the sound, get all the furniture in here, get all the shit that I use. And then once everything's in this room and I have it fully set up, then I can kind of base what space I have for a PC. Because I would like to actually get a saltwater tank as well, a fish tank, which I think would be pretty cool, and it would add a really cool thing for the background of when I start using my camera again. But for right now, I think we're just going to have to kind of wait it out and see what goes where. So yeah, hopefully that will last. If you guys want to see me live stream in IRL, like with Twitch, let me know. I could totally live stream while I'm working at my job. I mean, I don't know how great quality it would be, but if that's something you guys are interested in, let me know down below. I'm always happy to hear it. If you guys have any podcast ideas as well, or want to be on a podcast, my Discord has the application link to apply to be either the full-time co-host or be a guest on the podcast. And if you have any ideas, you can let them down below or on Discord. I think there's a podcast channel where you can leave your ideas. So check it out there because I'm always looking for ideas. And podcasts or something I have to talk something about. I have to talk about something for a while. So definitely interested in talking about new topics or old topics that I know a lot about. But that's just me. Um, but yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed the content on the channel recently. I'm really putting a lot more work into my content, a lot more thought. I think it's why my content's kind of dropping off in value, like in quantity, I mean, because my value of the content is going up a little bit more. I'm putting a little more thought into it. I'm putting a little more care into it. And I'm getting kind of trying to work on my editing skills. So hopefully, again, once I get PC stuff, sky is the moon, bro. The sky is the moon, bro. We're gonna have so much cool content. I'm hoping to do montages, and once I get my Elgato and I get a proper PC, I want to do my final Call of Duty montage and take all my montages and put it on a massive like 3 or 4 hour video, and revamp the editing, and like that'd be like the big end of the game. Because at the current moment, it looks like I'm never returning to Call of Duty at the moment. It doesn't look like I'm returning. Black Ops 7, I'm going to try the free beta here in a couple days. I think it's like October 5th or whatever. So like less than a week. It's like the day after, a couple days right around when I go for my learner's permit test. So I'm hoping it's a good game, but I'm probably not going to buy it just simply because it's Treyarch, and I really do not want to give Treyarch money. I know I want to give Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer another shot, so next year, maybe, next 2 years, maybe I'll give him a shot, but for this year, I think I'm just going to wait it out. Battlefield 6 looks really good this year, and I'm just really excited for that game. We got Delta Force, which has been phenomenal. We got Borderlands 4, and then next year we have GTA 6, which GTA 6 will be my big game next year, so I'm not even sure if I'll be playing any other game except for that if it drops. At this point, I'm not sure if it's going to drop or not. And hopefully Horizon 3 is somewhere down the road. I'm really getting impatient. I'm really hoping if Horizon 3 is going to come out. The last Horizon game came out 3 years ago. So I'm really hoping that that's down the line here. And there's also other games, like Assassin's Creed I want to play. There's the new WWE game. I haven't even played that in forever, but that's a game that I want to get back into again. DayZ, I know next year, I think it is, we're getting the new map for DayZ, so I'm very excited about that. We have Arma, we have Hold Fast, we have Helldivers 2, which I'm playing with some of my friends right now, especially my boys from high school. So I'm very excited to just play different games. I miss Call of Duty. It's something that I think about often, especially if a song comes up that I used to listen to while grinding camos or nuclears. But at the end of the day, we all grow and we all change and we all evolve. And I think in Call of Duty's side of my life is a chapter that is coming to an end. As much as I don't want it to come to an end, it's not like I'm wanting it to come to an end. I just feel like it is, and I feel like there's no point in me trying to fight that and play a game I don't no longer enjoy. Unless they get rid of SPMM. If they get rid of SPMM, EOMM, and they get rid of those things, maybe. Right, maybe there's a chance for recovery, but until those things are gone, I just don't think there's a chance for me to come back to them, because I'm always the one that preaches don't play a game that you rage at all the time or you hate, and unfortunately that's one of those things where every time I play Call of Duty lately, it's just a rage fest, and it just sucks. So it's unfortunate, but it is the case. So yeah, thank you guys so much for stopping in. It's about 24 minutes here, so this episode will be a little bit shorter, so I don't really have a lot of information to talk about. I think this podcast coming up next Sunday. I think I'm gonna try to pick something that I can do a little bit more depth talk about. I just don't know what yet. I'm really gonna take some time to get back on the hang of doing these podcasts, so I can do these 45-minute podcasts like I wanted to do. But yeah, I miss just recording, man. I miss uploading content. I know I haven't recorded a lot lately just because this house is always either has somebody in it that's talking and this room is not soundproofed. So you hear everything in the entire house all the time. So I hate recording when I have other people in the background. I think my mom, you can hear my mom in the background of the last video, and I try to talk over it. It's something that's it really frustrates me. So I usually record these on the days that I'm off work, which is Wednesdays and Thursdays, so that I can have peace and quiet to record these for you guys. But yeah, I miss it. I'm hoping that once my stuff's down here from Pennsylvania and I'm able to get my room set up, and I think I might buy some soundproofing and either put it on my door so that sound doesn't exit my door or come through my door. And maybe the back wall where the living room is. I think that might be the wall I might put some soundproofing on, even if it's just a couple pieces of it. Because I think as long as you have a couple pieces, that kind of helps the sound waves kind of condense into your room and don't enter your room. So hopefully that will work. But that's all. That's all plans for the future. And yeah, I hope you guys are ready for this. I'm not by any means just because I'm done Call of Duty. I'm not really playing Call of Duty. By no means am I done gaming or YouTube. It just means my content's going to shift. And my content's still not going to shift that far because I'm going into shooters either way. So it just might go into different styles of shooters. I would like to do montages for Delta Force. I think that would be pretty cool. So if you're interested in those, let me know below. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been the Hot Zone with LSS Gaming. And just, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.